Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Prime Sports World as we're breaking down Super Bowl 58. Joined here by David Huffman and TJ Hopkins. TJ, let's pick up from a conversation from where we were. We're talking about, Kansas City Chiefs being successful here in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was just saying how folks are chastising the Niners for not knowing the overtime rules. Nico Harmon didn't even know he caught the game-winning touchdown until Pat Mahomes told him.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, he told me. He said he blacked out and he did the.
So yeah, like folks are like the Chiefs are saying, "Oh, we talked about it, we game planned for it." It's like the guy who caught the touchdown didn't even know it was the game-winning touchdown. So, are you lying? Did you okay if you didn't talk about it the way you said you talked about it, bro? Like, I just despise when people like just lie like that. Like, oh, we talked about Brown. We talked about it when we played the Bills. We talked about it when we played the Dolphins.
Well, they probably did because that rule got changed because of a game between Kansas City and the Buffalo Bills 2 years ago now. But them not knowing the rules didn't change the outcome of this game. They kicked the field goal. Like the rules had literally no impact on the success of this game.
I'm not saying it didn't. I'm just saying stop. I just want people to stop lying. I
saw a clip of Stephen A. Smith call it embarrassing. I'm like, how is it embarrassing? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all.
Because I guess it's embarrassing to the fact that they thought that this shit would be over if they scored the touchdown, right? Like they thought they got the ball and to what you call it, and to my point, I thought I did too. I thought if San Fran got the ball first, went down, scored, I thought, game over, they're champs, No, they get this is what
they changed that rule because of that Buffalo Bills, and it's the first time it's ever been implemented in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs. I think since actually.
This is kind of what folks wanted the overtime rule to be, regardless. Just if a team that scores first kicks a field goal, no. If the opposing team that scores first gets a touchdown, we want the other team to get a chance to match that touchdown too. That's really all we ask. Not just it's a field goal, then the other team gets a chance to score. No, they score 7, the other team has the right or opportunity to score 7. But all in all, it was a good game. I like how they kept it to football. They didn't show Taylor Swift every 2 seconds like folks thought they would. Thank God for that.
I thought they kept that stuff kind of under wraps a little bit there. I think a good job. I also think that if San Francisco had won the Super Bowl, right, if they had actually won, I think Juwan Jennings probably would have been the MVP, right?
It would have been between McCaffrey. It's hard to.
Juwan Jennings threw the first touchdown of the game. Who had that in their bingo card? The first touchdown of the Super Bowl would be thrown by Juwan Jennings.
It was between him. He had 160 total yards of offense, 80 through the air, caught one and ran.
Yeah.
So it would have been between him and Jennings for sure.
I texted one of my coworkers. I don't know. You've seen that Greg Jennings video, right?
Yeah, the broken leg.
The leg. It was on steroids. I texted one of my coworkers. He's a Packer fan, and he's putting the team on his back though. And Darren Sharper nowhere in sight. This is 2 years in a row. We got really good Super Bowls, entertaining all the way through from beginning to end.
Yeah.
What would you have liked to have seen, San Francisco do differently besides commit to the running game a little bit more? They played well enough to win this game. They just went up against Patrick Mahomes, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's really just it. A team where against a certain guy, you just deviate from whatever is successful to them. Hey, you're one of the best run teams in the league. They're one of the worst. They're one of the bottom tier teams that's stopping the run, and you don't like. You just go away from it. Like there's a stretch where you went three and out, three and out, three and out, like 3 more times, and it was just enough. You see in the game, keep them calm, keep them like, hey, we're okay. Like, no.
Yeah, so they had 3 possessions to start the second half. 3 plays and a punt, 59 yards off the clock. 3 plays, -1 yards and a punt, 143 off the clock. And then their next possessions, 3 plays, 0 yards, 1 minute off the clock in that possession. In between that time, Kansas City got a field goal and made it 10-6, and then they got a touchdown. They made it 10-13.
And just fall on the ball. I understand. You trying to pick up the ball, just fall on the ball. That's all you have. He's trying to, and
Completely lost you there, TJ.
you got me again?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know what's going on with it. Irritates me, but yeah, like that's the difference. The Niners capitalized. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs capitalized on the Niner turnover. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean they got the touchdown off of that muff punt. They got it on the next play, 4 seconds, and then they took the lead. What do you think the missing of the extra point? Do you think that was like overly impactful? You remember Jake Moody missed that extra point, gave them only a 3-point lead instead of 4, going into that second to last drive by Kansas City.
Niners won by 1.
Well, I also think that Kansas City probably doesn't settle for a field goal if they're down 4 as opposed to 3.
Exactly. Right? So all you need, nut up, one stop.
I mean, because Harrison Butker, I mean, he was kicking field goals from like 60 yards with no problem. Like he had like basically unlimited range in this game.
No. Hey, again, because if that doesn't get blocked, you're up 4 instead of 3. Right? You're up 4 instead of 3.
Yeah.
So that last drive, Kansas City has no choice but to go down.
The last 2 drives, because they were up by 3, and then Kansas City went and got that field goal, and then San Fran got the ball back, and they scored that field goal, and then Kansas City obviously pushed it into overtime with the field goal.
So they probably win. They probably win the game if that extra point doesn't get blocked.
I'm not so sure, because I think Kansas City would have been more aggressive on offense to try to score a touchdown in that instance, as opposed to settling for a field goal.
But you're also poised to making more mistakes the more hyper aggressive you are.
Yeah. Also, I mean, every comes with 4 possession. Like, you're going for a 4th down every single
basically
every single set of downs.
Yeah, that's right. So all you gotta do is get one stop.
Yeah,
one stop. That's that. You get one stop, champ. You world champ. One stop.
And we'll revisit Super Bowl 58 here at some point. Let's talk about some of the other stuff, like non-football things. Let's talk about the commercials. What did you think of the commercials this year?
Real talk, the only good one I thought was the Dunkin' Donuts one with with Brady, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Like, to me, that was the only good one.
I really liked that T-Mobile commercial. I think was real funny with the Jason Momoa. Was real funny. There were a couple that I really enjoyed. I can't remember any of them off the top of my head right now, but I thought the commercials as a whole, I laughed through a lot of them. I really liked that stupid Doritos commercial with those 2 old ladies hunting that guy down for that bag of chips. I'm like, man.
On a more serious note, I understand that Um, I understand, like politically, I understand who our allies are, but the NFL has no affiliation with those allies. To air a pro-Israel commercial during the Super Bowl with what's going on over there is just not a good look. That's very all money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Let's put
I
it
mean,
that way.
unfortunately, I don't think there's anything the NFL can really do to control who. I mean,
Uh,
that's up
all,
to the networks. So,
like just so CBS, all money ain't good money.
and then halftime show, man. I'm not a big Usher fan, but man, that halftime show was fire. Like it was probably the best halftime show I've seen in a while. Like it was really entertaining. Like
Yeah, like I just that's the kicker for me. Like people on social media were like dragging the halftime show. It's like, what is wrong with y'all?
I mean, I thought it was awesome. I thought there were like some serious audio concerns at various times during the halftime show. Like I couldn't hear Usher and was it Jay Blige? Hardly at
Alicia,
all. Alicia Keys. Sorry, Alicia Keys. Like I couldn't hear either of them and what they were saying because the audio was just not good. Like,
it's like yeah, I'm with you. Like that's something.
but yeah, all the surprise guests that they kept bringing out, like it was just a really cool halftime show. And if you have an opportunity, you got 15 minutes, just give it a watch. It's that
Like,
nostalgic land that everybody likes, you know.
yeah, like Matt's talking about, oh, Prince didn't need all of this. I'm like, Prince had a whole marching band with him in 2007 when he did the halftime show.
This is the way the halftime show is. I mean, if they're gonna bring in like old R&B stars, like older R&B stars, I mean, they gotta hit that nostalgic land. Like this is the way that it goes. I mean, last year they had Eminem, who had like everyone you could think of and more.
Yeah, like Doctor, it was Doctor show, and everyone who's been affiliated with that record label, which is Dr. Dre's record label, was brought out to the show. I had no issue with the halftime show.
I love the halftime show. I thought it was real entertaining. The overall Super Bowl pretty entertaining, pretty good game. Let's swing into last edition of Game Balls for this season. TJ, Game Ball.
Gotta go Jawan Jennings. Like you
put him on the back though. Put the team on his back.
You threw one, you caught one.
The dude has 24 catches, 17 are for first downs and touchdowns this season.
Like you were the guy. Like you were the one that Brock Purdy turned. Well, basically that Brock Purdy turned to, because for whatever reason, like he couldn't get the ball to Kittle, couldn't get the ball to Debo was very.
Debo Samuel banged up.
Yeah, he was banged up. Like it was either Ayuk's getting the ball for a first down or Jawan Jennings is getting the ball for a first down. And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, or if you're anybody, that plays the San Francisco 49ers, that's what you want. That's literally what you want. Yeah. Like you don't want Kittle.
I'll live with Jawan Jennings beating me.
I'll live with Jawan Jennings
throwing a touchdown and beating me that way. I'll live with it.
I will live with Jawan Jennings like having the game of his life against me. Like it's the others. Like it's the mains. Basically, it's the mains. You can't have Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and McCaffrey going off. So like again, if Jawan Jennings would have had the 80 yards that McCaffrey had through the air, hey, you live with that.
Yep. 100%. I think it would be a hard press to not give the game ball to anybody else besides Patrick Mahomes. 34, 46, 333 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw that one real bad interception, but the defense bailed him out. But Patrick Mahomes has put himself into kind of rarefied air now with 3 Super Bowl rings, 3 Super Bowl MVPs. He's really put himself in another level of tiers when it comes to all-time grades. We're going to be mentioning him in the top 5 if this continues. He's not even 30 years old.
Well, you got folks calling him the greatest of all time already.
I think you pump the brakes on that a little bit, but I mean, when you talk about him in the top 5, I think he's probably somewhere in the top 10-ish, 5-ish.
I would go top 5. I see. That's the thing. Like Brady set the bar so goddamn high because Brady just didn't play long. Like Brady, not only did he play for a long time, he was good for the entire time. Like Brady's
Yeah.
worst, like you can argue Brady's worst year of his career was probably his last year, and that was still a good fucking year by his like all things considered. Like which is crazy. Like that's still a good year. Like Brady's worst year of his career was his last year, and that would be a career year for about 85% of the quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yep.
Like let's be so like they're like, can he catch Can he catch Brady in Super Bowls? Can Mahomes
Maybe.
is
I mean,
Mahomes
he'll
gonna
play
play?
until he's 45 years old.
Right? Is he gonna play 22 years?
And that supporting cast is to stay remotely good. Like they're like this is a young football team too. Like he's
That
got a
part
pretty
too.
young squad. Like he's got a young squad right now. Like this team's probably gonna be better next year than they were
That
this year.
that part too. Like they are outside. I think them in Green Bay. They got the two youngest defenses in the league. The only issue you got right now is so the one constant you know for sure is going to be there for the foreseeable future is Pat Mahomes. What's this team going to look like when Travis Kelsey says, "Hey man, I can't do it no more. My body beat the hell. I got to sit down." Because when you lose him, and hopefully to your point, when Travis Kelsey goes away, Rasheed Rice should still have him. He's matured. He's grown up.
Yeah.
So, right?
I mean, Travis Kelsey's probably got. I mean, I don't want to think he's going to be. I mean, he's got at least probably 3 more seasons of high level tight end play, high level football left in him. So I think we're going to get to the point like, or Kansas City. I don't know. Like if I had to pick between one of these two teams, which I think would be back here next year, yeah, it's Kansas City.
Now that I don't know because I mean, like with and it's kind of with both teams right now. Like it's both teams like are going to see teams in their conference that they probably didn't get a chance to see this year. Like I don't expect fully healthy Joe Burrow can beat Pat Mahomes. We've seen him do it. He's outdoor Pat Mahomes. So we got to see what we got to see what Cincinnati's like with healthy Joe Burrow. Burrow just has to stay healthy. Like that's the big.
And I imagine like Buffalo's going to retool or something.
Buffalo has to retool. Like again, I said it when we did. Like you can't keep running your head into the brick wall and expecting a different outcome. Like Buffalo, you got to retool this thing. You got to revamp this. On the Kansas City side, yeah, like again, teams are going to get better. Detroit hopefully Detroit ain't going nowhere.
Detroit could have easily been in the Super Bowl this year. I mean, they could have easily lost to Green Bay. They could have easily lost to the Detroit the week after that. Like I think the trip to the Super Bowl is going to get difficult in the NFC. Like as teams start to get better.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like
their own division is still pretty solid. I mean,
like that's what I'm saying. Like on the road is going to get harder for both of them. Like you said, like the one constant is they have like Kansas City has 15, everybody else don't.
Yep. But we'll be back here, breaking down some offseason stuff. We're going to come in tomorrow, do NFC South and AFC South previews. Thank you very much for checking us out here at Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast.
And we went this whole thing with option hand. Like that's kind of crazy. We kind of got to talk about that. What does this do for him?
I mean, it's not a good look. I mean, he's responsible for 3 of the biggest playoff deficits lost in Super Bowl history, the 28 and then 10 in each of the last.
So it's. I also think like remember how pundits and critics used to kill Mike Tomlin when he had Big Ben, he had Antonio Brown, he had Le'Veon Bell, and they just didn't win anything. Like those Steelers teams were absolutely loaded, right? And they just never got over the hump.
Running to Tom Brady all the time.
like if you're San Francisco, okay, this is what I've been waiting on. Not that I was praying for anyone's downfall in this, because that's I don't do that. if you're like when do we start criticizing the 49ers the same way we criticize the Dallas Cowboys? That's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
When do we criticize the not like forget they've been to the NFC Championship? Is that the goal? That's not the goal. The goal is
the goal is to hoist the Vince Lombardi Trophy, especially when you load up this roster the way they've loaded it up.
like that that's the right exactly that's the goal. The goal ain't just NFC. If they had just banners for NFC Championship, they would lead the way. Like no, we got the criticism that folks have for the Dallas Cowboys. We gotta keep that same energy, if not more energy, for the San Francisco 49ers. Because like
I mean, they've been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 10 years, lost all 3. I don't know I don't know if that's been 10 years, but it might be more than 10 years.
8 maybe, good, pretty close to it.
No, it's got to be way longer.
What was I was like freshman? Maybe
Hold on.
8, maybe 9. Like we talking about like the Ravens 9.
Yeah.
That's like maybe what was that 2012? 12
years?
12 years? Because that was my freshman year of college. Yeah, that was my freshman year.
So they lost to what is this number? I mean, XL8. So 40. It's been 10 years exactly. In 2012, 12 years. It's been 12 years. It's been 12 years since they've gone to the Super Bowl 3 times in 12 years, and they've come up short all 3 times. Twice against Patrick Mahomes.
And in between that, you got an NFC Championship appearance to the Giants. You lost that one. What was that before? No.
That was before. That was before. Definitely before.
So yeah, like we gotta keep that same energy for San Fran that we do for Dallas. Like we gotta do that. Like y'all ain't gotta like it. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about them going to the playoffs and winning games, and Dallas ain't been to an NFC Championship in 30 years. Guess what? They're in the same boat. San Fran ain't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. Dallas ain't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. Yet we was on team that's held to a critical standard, and it's the Dallas Cowboys. So if you're Kyle Shanahan, like I'm not saying fire the guy. I'm not saying that at all. But a conversation has to be had, and it got to be serious because we can't. If I'm John Lynch, I'm going to him like, bro, we can't keep stacking this debt, and you constantly short. On paper, y'all are better than Kansas.
I mean, outside of the most important position in the NFL, right?
Like, yeah, that's really the only advantage they had. And I don't get me wrong, like Andy Reid is a better coach than Kyle Shanahan. But Kyle Shanahan ain't no bum either. Cam Newton was on First Take the other day, and they asked him, who do you trust? Like, do you trust Brock Purdy to lead the Niners down the field in the game in a situation? His answer, and he got killed for whatever reason. Well, I know the reason. I just think him going into all that shit right now is he like, I trust his resources. I trust Debo. I trust Kittle. I trust McCaffrey. And that's a fair goddamn answer. It's like, hey, I can throw the ball to Debo or McCaffrey, and are you on the 2-yard bubble screen, and they can take them up into the house, right?
Yeah, I mean, also, Brock Purdy played well enough in this game to win the Super Bowl. Like he did. He's just not Patrick Mahomes.
He just ain't Pat Mahomes.
But yeah, thank you very much. Check us out here at Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. My name is David Huffman. Right there is my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. TJ, what do we do here? Hit the prime, my friend.
We bring the heat.
Yes, sir. We'll be back here tomorrow. You guys all have safe and be safe out there. Peace out.
See you, man.